Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Ask Dr. Zaino Live. Thank you for being here. It's Wednesday night again. Seems like these weeks just keep flying by, almost Thanksgiving already. So we really appreciate your time. And, I just want to quickly, as we always do, let you know to hit those social media links, those buttons right below this video. If you're watching live from chirothoughtleaders.com/ask-dr-Zaino. And then if you'll look below that, you'll see the chat roll. And this is a really cool addition, a little software that we installed on this page so that you can ask questions live and get them answered live on the show. And I know you guys already figured that out because we've already got several questions in here. So let me thank you guys for participating. The questions that you have, I'm sure other docs across the world also have as well. So I guess let me introduce the star of the show here, Dr. Zaino. How are you, man?
Good, Tabor. How you doing, bud?
Doing great. It's been a good day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. You ready to jump into some questions?
Yeah, let's rock and roll.
All right. Here we go. What do you say or do with a patient in a day one who is somewhat aloof about their symptoms to create urgency to get them back to the report ASAP?
So let's say they come in and they're aloof, meaning that they don't have many symptoms. Is that what you're saying?
I think so, or maybe even maybe it's that spouse that the wife made come, and then you're like, because I think sometimes the docs have problems getting them back to the report, and it's like I took these X-rays, I wasted my time, my money,
Sure.
What do you say to get them back to that report? That's what I got.
Well, I think it's the education. If you let them know that, if health's just how you look, how you feel, you miss heart disease, you miss cancer, and you let them know 5 or 6 people are dying of heart disease and cancer,
right?
Or more people dying of things that you feel or you don't feel.
Yeah.
And then I look at their sometimes they don't have goals. I had a goal yesterday was the guy wanted to wake up tomorrow. That was his freaking goal. Great job, man. We'll probably do that. And so I call it out. I'm like, hey, your goal says you want to just wake up tomorrow. Yeah, my wife. And he goes, yeah, my wife brought me here. I'm like, okay, let's just put that to the side. Be like, what kind of life you want to live? Do you want to be healthy? Do you have anybody in your family? What's your dad die of? What's your mom die of? Do you have any siblings and what they're going through? Be like, do you want that for your life? No, I don't. What do you want to be doing? Well, I just want to feel good. All right, great. So, and I just take them down that journey. I go, well, here's the thing. Whether you feel it or not, disease is unemotional. It doesn't care that you don't want to be here right now. I'm like, you could be sitting here, you don't want to be here, but disease doesn't care. It's like a nail in your tire. So if you had a nail in your tire, when would you want to fix that? Well, immediately. Why? Because I would have a blowout. And what would happen? And there's so many different bad scenarios. I'm like, well, there's a disease process in your body, which is like a nail in your coffin. When do you want to find that out? Just see what's going on? So like, yeah, I would like that. Because I go, if something's there, just like a nail in your time, you didn't know, what do you think would happen? Why something bad would happen? I'm like, yeah. I go, but now, your car gets wrecked, you get a new car, but can you do that with your body? He's like, no. I'm like, so let's do this. We're going to take pictures of your spine. I show the video so they already know we're doing. I'm going to take a picture of your spine. I go, do you see your spine in the mirror? No. I go, so if there's any damage in your spine, we're going to see areas that are rotting or degenerating or shutting off organs. And the fact that you could see it, and it's a blind spot, and you fix it, you're just helping yourself out. And and the one guy said he could still be in a bad mood, but at least you're healthier. Right. It's like, all right, yeah, all right, it makes sense. So then he's coming back. So you just talk him through it.
That's good.
Because sometimes the wife wanted me to come here, or is a dinner special or whatever. It's like, then you just kind of find their main things. Don't make it about the wife.
Right. Now, tell me if you guys do this or not too, because I think we kind of adopted your processes in our office, but especially if I think part of the problem sometimes is you don't have enough new patients. We talk about that a lot, but one thing I say before we take X-rays is telling them this process, telling them that they're going to have to come back to this visit, and then we're going to give them a plan to correct whatever we find, and make sure that they're in. That yes, I will schedule that. I will come back to that visit before we take the X-rays.
Absolutely.
At that point, if they want to say, I don't really want to do that, then I don't want to waste my time taking X-rays. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I taught you. So all that conversation happens before we do anything.
Right. Yeah.
So, you don't just take it to take it. No, yeah. And, there might be some people like, yeah, I'm just not. You explain that, yeah, this is just not for me. Great.
Right, great. You're saving my time,
Yeah, say, listen, I appreciate that, because the worst thing would happen is if we took your pictures, we spent 2 hours for nothing. So let's bring you up front. Hey, we're always here for you. Take care.
Gotcha. Awesome. Good question. Good answer. And next one. So this one, I read this question just a while ago. This is Interesting question. Okay, so it's about the dinner. I have a dinner program, and I have recently watched the webinar with Carla hosted with regards to calling people for the dinner. She talks about a party and when she's inviting patients. With that said, we had a guest the other night who had few too many drinks prior to starting the dinner and then was extremely obnoxious the entire dinner, heckling, being inappropriate, checking her voice messages while I was talking, etc. So my question is, how do you handle this if it happens, and how do we talk to guests when calling them when we want to portray a party-like theme, but yet we don't want them to drink or be drunk?
Awesome question. Has that happened to you, Tabor, drinkers?
That has never happened to me yet.
Yeah,
No.
well, yeah, we have them. I have them occasionally, and that exact thing happened the other day. But here's the thing. You got to know what you're saying first. Like if you're thinking about the next word in your dinner talk,
Right.
you're not going to be able to handle this. So one occasion I had a lady who had probably 3 glasses of wine, because that's what happens. I get there and they're at the bar. Because number one, we don't pay for drinks. So the room just has water. So she probably had 3 glasses of wine. And, you know, she was answering the questions. You knew she was getting loud answering the questions. And then she was so retarded, she started, I guess, answering the questions wrong out loud, right? So finally, but you see, other people, you gotta understand this, other people know that that person is ridiculous, okay? So, you know, she answered a question wrong. You gotta be able to think on your toes. And, you know, I'd be like, so how many drinks you had so far? You know, and then kind of laugh at them, and they don't want that attention anymore. They shut up. Another guy the other night, it was probably 2 weeks ago, who's to my left. I remember it like it was yesterday. I would do something, and he's getting a little loud. He's getting loud. So in that moment, I'm like, okay. So this is going on during the dinner. So you need to own the dinner good enough to where you could have a side talk going, okay, in my mind, I'm like, this guy is getting a little loud. I could either shut him down hard, or I could kind of get on his side, become his, like kind of, we're in it together type of thing, and give him enough validation to shut him down, or allow him to be quiet. But, but if he goes too far, then I got to shut him down. So, you know, he would do things. So what I started to do is he was saying things out loud when the question wasn't asked. So then what I started doing is I started using him as the guy to answer questions. I'm like, so if we took the batteries of the fire alarm, is the fire going to still be there? And I pointed at the guy. He's like, it's still going to be there. I'm like, right. This guy's great. And then, you know, so I went to him for the next 3 or 4 questions, and I kind of validated him, because that's all they want is attention. Clearly, what's drinking do? It lowers your inhibition, and really the true you comes out, right? Or my wife, a totally different person, comes out. And so he got the validation, and, you know, he was there. I was like, man, you know, and I would keep on, you know, and I'd look at him when I had to answer the question, like, help me out, man. And he's like, see, like, this guy was on board. This guy gets it. This guy's the example. And by the third or fourth question, he shut up. You know, he was good. Wow. And he paid attention. You know, he followed the rules, and that's what happens. So you got to get on their side. But if they're starting to get a little belligerent, then you use them as example. One time I had someone come up to the front, and they were they were semi-blitzed, and they'll never do that again. They sat down and shut up. And then there was one time, just like if there was a crying baby, you just say, hey, listen, ma'am, if you're not going to be quiet, I need you to respect everybody in this room. And that shuts them down immediately. But I don't want to shut them down and embarrass them. So there's 3 ways to do it. So the first thing you do is you get them on your side, and then get them answering. Everybody knows they're tipsy, right? They know that. And that's that validation will be just what they need to kind of liven the party. And but if this lady was belligerent and heckling, then you call out, be like, hey, ma'am, you know, everybody, you know, spend a hard working day here. They came here to hear a message that'll save their life, and, you know, you can't be a distraction to them. So, you know, you're gonna have to leave, and probably everybody would cheer you out. I never had a I mean, I've kicked babies out, which is pretty, you know. Well, I had to. Yeah. Because I was like, I don't care if that family's pissed off at me. You know, we got 50 other people in here that are going to be distracted. So, you know, but yeah, you just play it as you go. But this is the whole moral of the story is this. If you're not practicing your talk, your main thing, then you cannot handle situations like this. You'll react. People see you get uncomfortable. Man, I could roll. I'm like Bruce Lee. I'm like water at that dinner. I could mold to any situation as crazy as it could be. I mean, we have fun with it. Best thing to do though, I would say, is have fun with it. And then you don't seem like such, you don't seem, because it shows confidence.
Yeah. Oh, I like that answer. I'm good. I learned something there. And
Yeah, well, Tabor,
if that happens to me, it'll happen.
Sure. I mean, because you and I, Tabor, and probably everybody watching this, because you're disciplined people, like who the hell would think on a Monday night for me that people are freaking drinking?
I know.
They're going to a free dinner and they're drinking. It has nothing to do with the party. They're not going there. They're drinking 3, 4 glasses of wine, 5 beers, martinis. Like, what the heck? It's like, it's a Monday night, like your week started. Like, ugh. But I mean, that's what we live in,
Yeah, that's people.
That's normal. Yeah.
Good question. Let's see. I find myself being an over-analytical person. When in an ROF, I find it difficult to tell someone I can correct their spine, not because I can't get a good change, but because when I think of correcting something, I think of full resolution, i.e., I break my iPhone, I send it in, it gets corrected. Any help you can give me on this would be great.
Yeah, dude. Just tell them you're not going to correct it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, right, Tabor?
Exactly. No,
Tabor and I are both guilty of this. When we first started, I would show a messed up x-ray and a freaking perfect normal x-ray.
Right.
So you just say, hey, listen, so I show the pre is the pre and the post is a little bit better.
Yep.
Because we actually, Tabor and I, we overpromise and overdeliver. Mm-hmm. But that's a perfect example. I say, hey, everybody in this room right now, I'm like, nobody in here is going to be perfect, just to let you know, including myself.
Yeah.
I go, but every single degree of improvement, every 1% of life that's flowing to those organs, just better. Are you going to get sicker or healthier? I'm going to get healthier. Because I let them know it's a compound effect. 1% pressure on the nerve today, like BJ said, it's a small thing. Right. You don't sense it. Tomorrow you don't sense it, but compounded over time, that's a very big thing to that person. It becomes a disease. It is disease at 1%. So they have to understand whether they go from a 10-degree curve to a 15 or a negative curve to a positive 2. Any bit of correction is going to change your life. Because you also have to tell people that they're not getting any more time back. I do not believe that.
Right.
I believe that when we're subluxated, if I was 26 years old and subluxated for 12 years or more, I'm not getting time. When Tabor adjusts me, I'm not getting time back. He's preventing more time from being destroyed in my life. You follow what I'm saying? So we are not adding more time to people's lives. We are allowing us to maximize the time we have left. Yeah. I do not believe I adjust you and you live longer. No, you adjust me. Yeah, I live longer because you're retarding or slowing down the years that I'm losing being subluxated. So just if you think of it that way, that hey, listen guys, we only have so much time left. So you need to determine how you're going to use every second of that. So that's urgency. And 2, everybody, they got to know that they're not going to be perfect. That'll change your life because it frees you up. You might have back pain for the rest of your life, but I would rather have back pain unsubluxated than to be subluxated with back pain. I'd rather have cancer unsubluxated than cancer subluxated.
I started, because I got that a lot too, and I started making a little section of my doctor's report just talking about that. I was able to find from my old chiropractor when I was younger my cervical x-ray, and it was a 7-degree curve. Mm-hmm. And then now I showed one that I take one every 18 months just to check, and now it's at 34. So I show them and I said, you know how long I've been getting adjusted regularly? For 16 years I've been getting adjusted. And I said, what's ideal? What's perfect? And everybody's like 40 degrees. And so I say, and where am I at? They're like 34. And so I say, so my goal is never for you to be perfect. It's probably not ever going to happen. I want you to understand that. But my goal is to find optimal for you. No matter how long it takes, we'll find optimal. And if whatever optimal is, we'll help you learn how to maintain optimal for the rest of your life. And that's what I'm doing. And I point in mind, I said, if 34 is as best I'm going to get, then I'm going to learn how to keep and maintain 34 for the rest of my life, because I guarantee you my body is functioning so much better than it was when I was suffering at 7 degrees, And so that really helped, I think, when I started implementing that in my report.
That's great. And then another way you do that is you take a picture of rider's neck, right? So here's a child who's been adjusted since birth. Right. So, how many of you guys have this on the line? Well, how many people do you really see have a normal spine?
Yes.
So what percentage of people have a normal
All the
spine? It's like a
time,
percent,
dude.
like, you know, number one, so my gut instinct, I'm like, well, let's go to MD Anderson in the chemo room and say, what percentage of people have cancer? All of them. But is that's common, it's not normal. So what I do, so I don't have to hear that ridiculous analytical nonsense.
Yep.
I say, listen, I go, hey, people want to know, hey, how many normal spines you see? Do you see any normal spines? I'm like, yeah, I do. And I put a picture of Justice's x-ray up. It's perfect, you know, beautiful, thick curve. Everybody can see that, perfect atlas. I'm like, yeah, and kids. I go, you know why? Because how long do you think this kid's been adjusted? He's 10 years old. They're like, you know, never. And I'm like, no, since he was a minute old, a minute old. And that's what it takes to have a perfect spine right now.
Yeah.
And I go, so how many of you here were adjusted since you were born or birthed? Right? None of us. So will any of you expect to be as perfect as your spine to be as perfect as he is right now? No.
Yeah.
And I go, plus, how many of you have been adjusted at least 10 years? None of you. So
Yep.
not only is he 10, he's been adjusted for 10 years.
Right.
I go, my son's way ahead of you guys. But he started at the right time. So,
Yep.
I mean, so you understand that the only way we could look for even optimal is from birth. That's why your kid's the most important. I go, but right now for 20, 30, 40 years of damage, 50 years of damage,
yep.
Well, we're on life support. I mean, I even back it up. So I'm like, if we could just maintain you exactly what you are right now, then that would be the greatest thing you could ever hope for. And I even tell them, you know, the hour ago when you walked in the office, I want you to know that your disease process is worse now than an hour ago. Because I show that slide. Joe Borio gave me a slide. Don't ask me for it. Because actually Joe Borio has it on his Facebook thing. But it was a slide, great slide, showing at hours what happens to the nerve. What happens in hours, what happens in days, and what happens in weeks. And by weeks, there's like necrosis. In hours, there's no nutrition to get into the nerve or the cell. I mean, so we're saying like this, and I show on that slide, hours this is happening, days this is happening, weeks this is happening, and you're sitting in front of me, you haven't been adjusted for 20, 30, 40 years. So get it? You know, they get it. So trust me, they never hear that anymore. So don't show perfect x-rays. You can show what normal should be, absolutely. But the real world is because then you'll always get you set the expectations wrong. It's not about perfection. It can't be. It's about removing the interference as much as you can. Boom.
Speaking of asking you about stuff, last week we were talking about that day one video that you do in there, and we've had some people email and ask about how they could get a hold of the day one video. So I don't know, maybe we'll look into figuring something out like that for people. So.
Yeah, it was good. It's 19 minutes and 47 seconds.
Yep.
It came out good, Dave. Do you see it? He put the fire in there and stuff. And
looks
Nick
great.
did a great job. I mean, and it's been super successful. So I traded that out, my old one with this one. Perfect, because the new one I'm going over, like that question said, the new one we're going over, you know, and it's written up, your spouse will be coming. This is what, you know, the whole thing, what to expect.
Yep.
And then so they know all that.
It's good.
Ahead of time, because I didn't have that in the old one. Oh, bring a form of payment, right? Spouse must come. So let's get it out of the way.
Yeah, no, I started saying that in ours too, because I mean, I'd almost rather than, I mean, I don't want them to not show up for the report, but if they think it's just like going to be, I mean, like sometimes they come to the report and you show them their care plan, they need it and they're all for it and they see the price tag and you're like, did you think this was going to be free or something? You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, bring a form of payment because we'll be going over your care plan, you know?
The answer to all your questions is more new patients. That's I mean, right? I mean, if you had 80 new patients, you wouldn't even be telling me this.
I know. Last month we did, and I wasn't even looking at it.
I can't. Okay. And then he's like, great, we'll be here for you. And then it's not that's why I was telling like my director of operations, he's so into graphs and maps and what I call minor defense. That's all it feels to me, because there's no action. I'm like, we need a strong offense. A strong offense will take away all your problems, because it just, you know, you're not, because you have two people at your report. You're like, man, I need help. You know, you really. So I had two people last night. It happens to me still. Two people last night. One guy's family lived in Atlanta. He was here on contract for a month. A lady came with her daughter, and her spouse didn't come, and I was not told that. So we showed the care plan, which was a no-no.
Mm.
And so it just, it was so we still mess up. Don't worry about it. But like I said, there's no reason why these people should have been there. Spouse wasn't here. This guy's leaving. I would have got him someone in Atlanta first. You know what I mean? So sometimes just make sure they're following your process. So.
Yep. Absolutely, man. It fixes everything. Last month we busted our ass. We had 83 new patients last month.
Ooh, that was a good
And
one.
I don't even know what my stats were because I don't even care. I didn't look at them. All right, but I know it was a record collection month, and my conversions were probably lower than they normally are, and it was still a record collection month because we busted our butts.
That is wisdom, man. That is wisdom, because you don't have, again, someone who's from the business world. It's all about the metrics, and I never looked at metrics because I didn't care. It was just, what's the bottom line? Who became a patient? It's like, who made it to the DR? Well, that was always my number. Who's at the DR and who became a patient? Yep. And that was always the thing that counted. And you know what? Since we've been following metrics, it really has done zero value for my office. It's like, but I'm always trying everything. I want to see.
Yeah, that's fine. I want to
back to the, you get 80 new patients a month. You don't got to look at your metrics.
And then you can tweak things. And then you can tweak things a little bit here and there,
I mean, you mean when 10 people come in, they're the 10 same robots that come in? No, there's so many variables.
Get this. Here's a variable that I discovered doing so many presentations, because I've been doing like 2 or 3 lunch and learns a week. And I can increase my conversions by changing my close just a little bit in my lunch and learn. Like when I was just selling the checkup, like if you haven't had your spine and nervous system checked in over 3 months, you need to get it checked. That's, not telling them anything about us actually, putting together a care plan or something like that. And I would sign up like 30 out of 35 people at that talk, but then my conversions would be really low. And then all I did was add to the close that when you come in, I just tell them about the day 1, day 2 doctor's report, and I say we're going to lay out a care plan to actually correct the problems that we find, and we'll let you know, everything that entails on that second visit. And it may decrease my number of signups just a little bit because they're kind of seeing that I'm going to actually try to correct their problems here. But my conversions go up when I do that.
So. Oh, absolutely. Well, because they're it's all about pre-qualification.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. So, okay, so let's ask, there's a couple more questions here. Hey docs, what are your daily rituals and routines that help you stay on mission and deliver the principle every time, whether it's a dinner talk, ROF, day 1, or resign?
You first.
Well, I would say this Wednesday night hangout has been really good for keeping me on point, and every Wednesday I'm back on it, but it's listening to audios, and right now I'm listening to Grant Cardone's doing his university, but and it still is, I keep a book in my bag that let me grab it. This is a really good one. It's As Simple as That by Fred Barge.
Yeah, that's a good
and
one.
I've been reading through that one, and I have 5 or 10 minutes reading a page to keep me on point. And but Grant Cardone pumps me up. I know he's not a chiropractor, but he gets me excited and makes me want to go change the world out there too. So there's a lot of guys that I listen to that aren't chiropractors, but I still get excited to keep sharing the principle.
Yep, I'd say the same.
Yeah, awesome. And in my rituals, I try to get really, really strict with my morning wake up, my morning this, that, and then the other, like Evan Pagan does. And I realize, like right now, with the twins being 2, I have things that I'm going to be write out. I'm going to do these different things during the day, but the timing of them might change a little bit. And I've noticed that works a lot better for me as far as it goes with rituals and things that I have to do. So
good. Yeah, I'm with you.
Cool. All right. I participated with Medicare for many years and treat a lot of patients with the insurance. Recently, I started transitioning them to cash, but it's been challenging because they haven't paid a dime in years. Plus, they're older and stuck in their ways and mindset. I'm offering monthly options along with a prepay, but it has not been going well. Any suggestions?
Yeah, man. That's the 2 things. That's what you get for doing insurance, but hey, you're fine. Everybody's been there. When I stopped insurance, you forgot a variable of the equation is you got to build value. They had basically people had zero value of what you do. I'm sorry to say this, man, but as a brother, this is the reality.
Yeah.
Your patients have absolutely no value of what you do.
Right.
At all.
Yeah.
And that sucks. It really does. So that means you have not done a good job of educating them. So what you have to do is you bring them all over dinner and you got to educate them the right day because they have no value. They don't even want to, they don't want to, they'll spend money for anything but you.
Yeah.
Which is not good. So even when I took insurance, I still did doctor's reports. You know, I mean, they got value out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not stuck in their ways, guys. They're just, they have no value because you know what? They're spending a lot of money on their other doctors. You know, they're spending a lot of money here and there. They're taking tons of meds. So, you know, they're not stuck in their ways. They just, you never gave them a reason for value.
Mm-hmm.
And something that, real quick, Tabor, something that Tabor said, he's like, well, I'm listening to guys who aren't chiropractors, but you have to understand something very clearly here. You may know the chiropractic principle and you may care for people, but if you cannot close a person, and what I mean close, I don't mean sell, closing a person. Closing a person is life coaching them in their mind, in the moment, through their objections to see how their objections are rooted in nothing. They're negative belief systems. They don't have the money. Yes, you have the money. I feel like I'm being pressured. No, you're not being pressured. I love this one. I don't want to make a rash decision. And I go, it's impossible to say anything you make right now is rash because you wanted to come to the dinner. Carla called you and talked to you about the dinner. You came to the dinner. You came to the first new day patient. I worked on your x-rays for 2 hours and you sat through my doctor's report. We spent 6 occasions together. How can you possibly think this is a rash decision?
Right.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So, and you know where I learned that from? Grant Cardone, right there. The reason why he is the top closer. See, if you're not a closer, guys, we're always closing people. Don't think because Tabor listens to Grant Cardone, it has nothing to do with chiropractic. Right. Tabor closes to his wife. He's a closer to his kids are closing him every day. When he's done with this and Ryder wants to do something, they're closing him. Yep. And we're too afraid. It's not selling. Closing is different because you're literally thought leading them in the moment, but you know how to go. It's almost like when you heard, if you guys got Dr. Fred's program, and you're like, wow, this guy knows how to dance with them. It's like dancing with them, but you're always leading them to the right decision. Yeah. It's not your decision, it's a right decision. It's like, listen, you're talking about money and time, but here's your problem that's destroying your life. Why would you honestly stay? I'm not, this is like, because in reality, you're like, why would you want to stay like this? And you're letting things that mean a lot less than your health get in the way because they're used to saying it. You know, just think people, their whole life is like, I can't afford this. I can't. They say that every day to somebody, and you're just the next person. I can't afford it, or I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. And then maybe you're just another person. They're saying that same concept to you, but they just been saying it for years. So you have to learn that. So I know Grant Cardone is going to be the best one for that. And it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of practice because you need to be 3 steps ahead. Yep. This person pulls the time thing. And so here I have all these different areas to go. And I think your entire team, that's what I'm doing now. I'm having anybody who deals with any type of exchange, there's about 100 different closes they have to learn and master and customize to themselves and to their job, and they need to study it and be able to drill it off and just work because it's really, they're allowing people to have a better life. Mm-hmm. And that's what closing is. It's not selling, it's leading.
That's good. Absolutely. Next question. With the out-of-state names that people give you at day 3, do you call a doctor in their area and make sure that they are corrective care doctors? Question.
100%. Absolutely. Cool. Say what you say you're going to do. Do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah. Yep.
Let me follow this question. What if there's no corrective chiropractor? I look for a family practice. I said just look for a practice that takes care of families.
Yep, absolutely. I look on, if you go to idealspine.com/directory, you can type in their zip code or a city and then CBP docs. You can see where they are. Or if not, I'll go into like, some of the groups, like chiropractic groups I am on Facebook, and ask for a wellness corrective care chiropractor in this city. And a lot of times you'll get a lot of feedback that way too.
Hey, and just, hey, everybody, like, here's a secret, just to let you know. There's a lot of chiropractors that don't do corrective care that freaking save people's lives, okay?
That's true.
In fact, they're better than corrective care chiropractors because including myself, corrective care, because we could leverage the x-ray. There's some amazing healers out there that do Atlas only and freaking, they do one adjustment and that person's healed. How about that?
Yep.
I can't see that. So don't worry if they're not corrected. I mean, BJ wasn't a corrective care chiropractor. I'm just saying he was a hole-in-one out. He was an Atlas guy, and Sid Williams the same way, and that was chiropractic. Reggie Gold, same. I mean, Sickafus. I mean, Sickafus. Yeah, Reggie Gold. Ernie Landy used to say they used to take when he worked for Reggie. They used to take X-rays, and they're like, "Do you want to see it?" And Reggie's like, he's like, "No." It's like he's like, "I'm not gonna look at that thing." Like he didn't even look at the X-rays.
Right.
He just adjusted. So, and those, I mean, they were world famous, legendary, historic.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, don't get hung up.
Yep.
You know, this is not a click.
Yeah, man. I even in my dinners now I talk about, you know how we always talk about this is the Atlas. If you put your finger behind it, you touch that spot. You know, straight from the front, curves from the side. And then after I finish that, now I say, you know what? That's the science and the technique behind what we do. But I want to tell you, there's something that's so amazing about your body that science may never be able to understand. It's life. It's the only thing that heals. There's an amazing intelligence, you know, and that's where I go into innate intelligence. So we covered the science, you know, but there's something even bigger than that. Those healers have somehow mastered that. And, you know, it's awesome. It's awesome. Well, it's 8:30, and we had a couple more questions, but we'll get to those on the next episode.
And do that. Are we next week or are we off next week?
Let's
go. Let's be off next week because I'll you know.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving, and there's going to be a lot of people traveling, and
so I'm not gonna. It's just not going to be the Tabor and Chris show.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, what are you doing? Okay, so yeah, let's bring it back. So the next, what we'll do next time. So the 30th.
Yeah, the 30th. The 30th. Yep, we'll be and then we'll be live on the 30th, and then the following week after that, which is December 7th, that's where we're going to have Carla do CA training.
Awesome. Right? Yeah. So Carla, she's not going to only do CA training. She'll also do dinner call training.
Oh, nice.
Cool, huh?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's what you guys want.
All right.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, let me send you guys off. We're grateful for you. Thank you so much.
Yep.
You know, it's Thanksgiving, but really it's you know, it's something that we just got to be grateful every day. So we appreciate you guys, you know, and just be grateful for others and, you know, get the message out. And anything you need from us, you just let us know, and we promise we'll give you some big things in the future. Tabor, close it out, man.
Awesome. Well, not much more to add there except for thank you so much for being here tonight, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Ask Dr. Zaino Show. Y'all have a great night.
God bless.